Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to another recording of, what is this called? Cracking the Cryptic? Oh yeah, I'm just realizing now that if I click the recording button, it doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't do the subscribe icon. Whoops. I thought it would, but I've got that programmed the wrong way. Last recording, sorry, getting distracted here. We did 500, 500, 500, 500, puzzle number 8 for 182 minutes, which I'm not sure I really like that much variety as far as variants. I don't think it synergized particularly well. Yes, this was a gimmick, I'm sure, for their 500,000th or 500 millionth subscriber on YouTube, so I see why they would go with that theme and be a little bit silly with it, but fortunately it does seem like all of the remaining free puzzles are usually going to have 2 or 3 at most variants, or they'll just be a classic Sudoku, and I don't think any of the free puzzles are actually classic Sudokus. It would have been way more intelligent, though, to have a practice puzzle with the entropy lines and some of the other rule sets and variants, because these 3 at the bottom and this one you would have never done before if this is the first Cracking the Cryptic puzzle game you played, and even if it wasn't the first Cracking the Cryptic puzzle you played, you still have a high chance of not having done any of these before if you just started with puzzle 1, because you could easily buy classic Sudoku from Studio Goya on Steam and only do classic Sudoku puzzles, or you could buy killer Sudoku and only do killer puzzles, which would be this variant here. We shouldn't take too long to hop into this, though. Today we are doing a partial domino sandwich Sudoku, which was made by Prasanna Seshadri. So let's hop in here. So I don't know if I need to explain the classic rules every time, but it probably doesn't hurt to just assume that this might be somebody's first time for watching this. Classic Sudoku. The digits 1 through 9 must appear once in every row, every column, and every box. Only once. Then we have Sandwich Sudoku, which is explained, I think, poorly, in that the numbers outside each row and column, these numbers, correspond to the sum of numbers between 1 and 9 in that column. So there could be some numbers, then there could be a 1 and a 9, and then there could be any number of numbers as long as they add up to 5, which then 4 or 5, there are 2 combinations, either a 2, a 3, or a 5. So that's pretty easy to figure out. We're doing partial dominoes. The white dot between 2 cells indicate that the numbers are consecutive. That means if this is a 1, this is a 2. If this is a 2, it could be a 1 or 3. The black dot between 2 cells indicate that the digits are twice as big. So if this is a 1, this could be a 2. If this is a 2, this could be a 1 or a 4. And X, now we're getting extra rules. An X between 2 cells indicates that the cells add up to 10. So 4 and 6. A V between 2 cells indicates that the 2 cells sum up to 5. Not all possible dots, X's, and V's are given. So, domino rules here seem to be an expansion of the variant of the Klopke Sudoku rules, where Klopke was just white dots and black dots with the same rules, but no X's and V's. Okay. And like, we'll hover over the new rules for partial domino, because I'll have to read those probably more than anything. And like most of these puzzles, instead of being a classic Sudoku puzzle with potentially 17 or more hint numbers to start with, there are no numbers to start with. But I think there are a couple of rules here that we can select to start with. Seems to me like an X cannot be a 5 if the cells need to, if 2 needs to add up to 10. So I'm gonna come over here and mark 5 as not being a possibility. Then it seems to me like all the V's, so this is just Roman numeral 10s with the X's and Roman numeral 5s with the V's, which if that was really what they were going to do, I'd kind of prefer there to be a bar on top and bottom of the X's and 5s so it looks more like a Roman numeral. 5's V's need to add up to 5, which I could on the V's say 5's are not allowed and 6's and 7's and 8's are not allowed, but it is just easier to mark 1, 2, 3, and 4 in those positions. Furthermore, these, since they must double, and that means the other side must have, can only be 1, 2, 4, 6, 3, and 8. It can't be 7 because 7 would divide in half, and it can't be 9 because 9 would divide in half. But 3 can double to 6, even though 3 can't be divided as an even number. Then let's see. If this dot is next to this, and this can only be 1 through 4, then that tells me the options here are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can't be 6, 7, 8. And then in this spot we have 1 through 8 excluding 7, which the complements to get to 10 here, a 10 complement would be the right word, I believe, can be 9, 8, 7, 6, but not 5, 4, but not 3, 2, and then not 1. As far as these dots filling up, as far as options, might as well just mark the possibilities as far as what could add up to 9, which I think is everything except for 5. So that may not be very helpful at that point. Yeah, let's try not to waste time by doing that. Let's instead just leave those blank. Okay. And I would think at this level, there's not any more things we can fill in without looking at the sandwiches. A 2, 3. If this was a 1, this would have to be a 4. Then 2, 3 could be somewhere else. If this was a 2 and this was a 3, then the 1, 9 would have to be here, and then the 1, 9 would have to be here. But yeah, nothing really stops this from being a 1 and a 4 at the moment. And then a 1, 9 could be down here or here, followed by a 5 and a 1, 9. Although 1, 9 can't be here. Let's see if we can mark this. A 1 or 9 would not be 2 or 3. So that can't be a 1 or 9, because then we'd need a 5 or 2 or 3 here. If this could be a 1 or a 9, then this could be 2 and this could be 3. This couldn't be a 5 if the 1 and 9 is here, but we don't know that because it might be a 5 if the 1 and 9 are somewhere else. I think the same logic probably follows this, that this can't be a 1 or 9 because then... No, I think this could be a 1 or 9. This could be a 1, and then this could be a 2, and then the 5 could be here, or 2, 3 could be here, and the 1, 9 could be paired there. So, yeah, I don't think the logic follows that. This one may have some limitations on what can be filled in here. Either you would have a 1, 9 here, and then you would have a 5, 7, and then 1 here. So this could be 9, 5, 7, or 4, 8, and then 1. Or you're going to have a 1, 9 here, and then a 2, 3, and then a 7, which you can't do that combination if that was the case. And I guess the question is, can you in any other place do 1, 9, 2, 3, 7? I mean, you might be able to, but then there wouldn't be a 1, 9 there. Yeah. If you're going to do a 3, 1, 9, it's got to be here through here. And if that was the case, 2 and 3 and 7's not valid. I think I'm right with that. 2 and 4 and 6 I think also is invalid. 3 and 4 and 5 would also be invalid. Which, yeah, that means then it has to be 2. And how can it be 2? There's kind of only a few places it could be. There has to be a 1 here, and then either a 5 or 7 or 4 or 8, and a 1, 9, a 9 here, and a 1 here. Or there could be a 1 here, and then a 1 here, a 4 here, and 8 here. and then a 1 9 here, or 1 here, a 4 8 here, or a 5 7 here, then a 1 9 there. So I think all I can really do is take away some combinations there. Pretty obviously I should be looking at this one first. The longer the number, the higher the chance I think of having the right solution as far as the sandwiches go. And this one might have a secret in it too, in that 1 3 may be the only way to get to a 4. You can't do 2 2. Yeah, no, 4 is the only way to get to a 4. So that may not be enough information. Let's see. Could we do a 1 9 here and then do 2 and 4 and then 6? That would have to be how that would be. 2 4 and 6. And there isn't a 2 4 and 6. 6 3 and 2 might work, followed by a 5. I think that's good, but I don't think this first column works. Maybe I haven't tested every possibility here, but I just don't think you can do that. We also don't have 3 spots, so this can't be a 1 9 followed by like a, I guess this would have to be 9, and then if this was 1, and in the middle here, could we do 2 6 and 8? That is a possibility. Could we do 3? If this is 1, this would have to be 2. This, so 3s in that spot couldn't be either of those combinations. If this was a 9, then, or yeah, this 9 can't do anything. I'm pretty sure. I'm racking my brain already. Part of the problem here certainly is that I'm trying to make episodes and it is making extremely long days. There is also a weirdness that I have to admit, in that since I'm launching Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel to have any music play in the background, which again I cannot sing any less praise in a game that doesn't bother to have sound effects and music playing, even if it just pops up an option at the beginning to suggest you mute it. I really wouldn't get away from my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday streams of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel very easily if I still would be launching Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel just to have the music play in the background. The temptation would just be far too high to play a few more games of Yu-Gi-Oh! And do the daily quests, which there are no daily quests in this game like a traditional video game. There might be fairly frequent updates in which they add a puzzle, possibly on like a weekly basis, but hardly like procedurally generated daily quests. We can look at this for a second, I guess, and say that if there was a 4, 4 has to be between a 1 9, so this can't be a 4. 4 does not add in any way to being 1, 9. That can't be a 4. A 1 or 9 could be here, allowing this to be a 4. This could be a 4 with a 1 or 9 above this. A 1 could be here, a 4 could be here, a 9 could be here. A 4 can't be here. And a 1, 9 could be a 4 here. But if it was, then this would be a 2 or an 8, which would then not be a 1, 9. So remove the possibility of 4s being there. Yeah. Those can't be a 4 either. That does mean that in this realm of possibility, well, a 1 could be here, or a 9 could be here, the 4 would be here, or a 1, 9 could be here, the 4 would be here, or the 4 could be here and the 1, 9 could be here and the 1, 9 could be here. Regardless, that means there has to be a 4 in this spot. That means this is not 4, which that means this is not 1, because there's no other way to add up to 5 to hit that. Also means that is not 4, and then that is not 8. Okay, and the fact that I was able to figure out something there implies I should be able to figure out something here, but maybe I can't. What's not going to work here is basic Sudoku. That I think it probably is worthwhile now to fill in the possibilities of getting to 10, which would be every number except for 5 to start with. Then we know there's a 4 missing, so if the two numbers have to add to 10 and you're removing 4, then you also have to remove 6. And at least that gets us a better starting point. The possibilities of where 1, 9 could be is here, here for a 2, 3, or it could start a 1, 9 here and be a 5 here, and it'd be a 1, 9 here, or it could start to be a 1, 9 here and put a 5 here and be a 1, 9 here. It also could be a 1, 9 here and put a 2, 3. It can't be a 1, 9 here. It can't be a 1, 9 there. So at least we can mark those. Is that guaranteeing in any possibility, though, that the 1-9 would always, that there would always be two 1-9s in this box, which I think is what I would need to find out. No. Yeah, without there being two 1-9s in this box, I can't guarantee that there isn't a 1 or 9 in these columns. Then if our logic was correct, 2, 3, 7 is not valid. 2, 4, 6 is not valid. And 3, 4, 5 is not valid. Although maybe it wouldn't work. No. No way you're going to get like 5 between 3 and 4. You're going to get 7. So that only leaves 4 and 8. Which 1-9 could be here. And then it could be 4. A 9 could be here. Let's just mark it. 9 could be here. And then it could be 5 and 7 and 1. 5 and 7 and 1. Or it could be 4 and 8 and 1. Or a 9 could be here, and then it could be 8 and 4 and 1, or can we do 5, or could we do 7 and 5 and 1? No, not with that combination. You could do 5, 7, 1 here, so we're close to being able to eliminate it down to either 4 and 8 or 5 and 7. Okay, then you could have a 9 here, and it could be 4 and 8. Four and 8 and 1, or 5 and 7 and 1. Or you could have a 9 here, and then this couldn't be 1 in that case. It's not going to be 1 and 2 something. So I don't think you can have a 9 here. Could you have a 9 here? And 5 and 7, no. 4 and 8, no. I think that's as much as we can get from that at the moment. But I guess I am probably just supposed to mark in all the possibilities. So let's just ask it again. Can I have a 9 here and then have a 1 here? No. So the 4 digit in that scenario is not one that we need to look at. It would have to be a 1 here and then 3 digits. So 1, 2, 6, 8. So those could be 6, 8. Or 1 couldn't be 3, could it? Yeah, couldn't be 3, 5, 8 because the 1 needs to double to a 2, so 2 needs to be involved. And it couldn't be 4. Because if this was 4, then this would be 2. So 6, 8 is the only possibility there. And if this is a 1, and then this was a 9, then 1. Now if this was a 1, this would be a 9. To add up, these can't be 1s and 9s, can they? So let's reevaluate now. We look at that. If this is a 1, then that can't be a 9. Because there's not enough spots. So clear those out. And then mark those with an X, that they can't be 1, 9. Which this then leaves us with a solution here, in that if this was 1 and then there was a 4-digit combination, this kind of can't be a 1. I don't think. We might be able to. If this was a 1 and then this was a 9 and then this was 3 and 7 and then I had a 2 and a 4, that might work. If this was 1 and then it was 3 and 7 and then a 6, that might work. Let's double check this. 1 makes this 2, so the 2 would then have to be here, and then the 8 would have to be here. Okay, well, it has 2 and 8 in it. Not that, not that, not that, not that, not that. And either I'm making a huge mistake here, or this literally is the only possible combination, which makes that. Let's just test it. If correct, this is 6. No, it is not correct. Okay, so I've made a mistake. Either it can be up here, or this is not 1. Maybe there's a possibility this could have been 1. Then maybe we should mark it that way. In the combination here, 2 and 8 and 6 would be a possibility. And then this would have been a 9. The other combinations, to ignore all that. Maybe this could be a 9 and a 1 here. Maybe I eliminated a possibility. Inaccurately. No, because if it's a 9-1 here, then there's nothing in the middle of the sandwich. I eliminated that correctly. These can't be 9-1s. Okay. So if this was a 1-9, which what happens when I hit a 1-9? It turns it into a 1-9. Then we would need 3 digits, which I don't think we can get to. 8, 2, and then that would be 4. I feel like I'm eliminating every possibility. I don't think that's correct. is there any possibility that this could be a 1 or a 9? Any possibility at all? 1, 9, 2, 6, 8. Then we would need a 1 or a 9 there. No, that seems wrong. 9, 6, 8, 2, 1. Seems to work, but we already were told that was wrong. 9, and then 8, 2, 4 doesn't work. So there must be another combination I'm missing here where this could be a 1, 9. How could we get to a 1, 9? 3, yeah. If this was a 1, 9, and then this was 3, and this was 6, and this was 7. No, 3, 6, and then 5. I think we've got it. So 1, 9, 6 here, 3 here, 7 doesn't work, 3 here, 6 here, 4 doesn't work, 7 can't be on either side of this. This would have to be 7, this would have to be 3, and then that would add a 6. That doesn't work. But 3, 6, 7 would work if there's a 1, 9 here. And probably this is the only possible legitimate solution now, since we've been told we were wrong before. So it's got to be 3 here, 6 here, and 7 here. And then a 1, 9. Yeah. I think I've probably done all the steps to know this is 3, 6, 7. And yeah, maybe I'm skipping one step here because I was told I was wrong, but I don't think I'm making a massive leap in logic. That's a 6. That's a 3. That's a 7. That means that is not 9. There. And yeah, I guess the question next to ask is, where do we look now? It's probably logical to just take these and fill in the remaining numbers, since we know it will now be 2, 4, 5, and 8 in those spots. And that's probably the sweet spot, is if you're filling in a box with 4 options, you're on the right track. If you're filling in a box with 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 options, you're probably making a poorly strategic move. But then the question becomes, what's the next step? Odd numbers, or odd numbers out, I guess, could be marked here in that I see there is no 9 in this spot, and then there's a 7 in this spot, and then 5 in that spot, and then we can further deduce that that's not a 9. I don't know if we can find anything else helpful. This 5, 7, 9 triple is not guaranteed, though. So, one of these squares undoubtedly has one more number in it. Well, this is marked as it could be a 9, and this is marked as it could be a 9. If it's not a 9, it could also be any number, I guess, that is not 4, 8, 5, or 7. So 1, 2, 3, 6. Just add those as possibilities. See, I don't know if that helps, or if it isn't just better to focus on the 1-9 aspects. Just label things as 1-9s. And the logic here would tell me that we have to go further. This has to add up to 5, so 2s are no longer valid because this 3 was removed. And then this, for some reason, can't be what now? Well, this can't be a 4. It's either going to be 1, and it can't be a 1. It's either going to be 2 or 5. Can't be 3. Let's go back to the combinations now and see if that changes some things. Seems like all possibilities are still here in that, well, this 1-4 pair actually does eliminate quite a bit, doesn't it? If we have no other way of getting 5, can't be 2-3, and can't be 5-0. Right. That means a 1 and a 4 is not in any of those. So I'm hoping I'm right that none of these 3 combinations are actually viable. If this was 9 and this was 1, you could still do a 5-7. You can't do a 4-8. The only way you could do a 4-8 would be to have a 1 here, and then a 4 here, and then a 9 here. Which I think we have to do that in that pattern, because we can't have a 1 here, a 4 here, and then an 8 here. So we've got it. That's a 1. What? No? I made 2 mistakes already. Oh, I guess I needed to look further down, because there is also the possibility, I guess. I don't know how this would happen though. A 1 here, a 2 here. Wouldn't help. I think I'm wrong. I think I made a mistake here, and that there is possible combinations of three columns. There could be a 9 here, then a 5, 7 here. As a possibility, then that 1 would be with this 4, and that wouldn't matter because we would have already made the combination, and I think that's what I was overlooking. There could be a 1 here, and then it could be 2, and then 7, but not 3. Seemingly 3 can't be here. Although I don't see a reason why 3 can't be here in this spot. So let's just add a 3. And add that as a possible combination. Probably made some dumb logical inputs on this when I added every possibility. Now, these should tell me something, so let's just go ahead and fill in these options. Now, everything but a 5 would go into those 2 spaces, but from that, we know 6 can't be there, 6 can't be there, 4 can't be there. There's a decent chance that we'll find out where the 1 and the 9 are, and that will eliminate the 1s and 9s in this pair or this pair. I wish there was something more logical we could do with these numbers. And if we know it's not 1, 9, we could go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And from that, it could be 1 and 9, or any number in between. So that's the full list of numbers. And then this would just be the full list of numbers to be filled in here, at least to start. On this, we know that 4 has to be in the middle of this, and 1 and 9 have to be in the middle of this, so we could say 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are possible in that spot, but not 1, not 9, and not 4. Are we leaving out any other numbers? Well, we could take these numbers and just add everything except for 4, since we know 4 need to be in the next column. Then we can move the 3 from that, and then move the 6 from that, and remove the 7 from that. We could put in all the numbers here that we don't have. Should be 2, and then 5, and then 8 and 9, because this 1 4 pair eliminates 1 4 here. This 6 3 7 eliminates all those numbers from there. So that gives us a quadruple of 2s and 5s, which I don't think actually helps me in any way. And yeah, it feels like it would just be a lot more basic Sudoku to fill in the rest of this. So before I go any further, let's just try some basic Sudoku and see what we can see and if that would be helpful. 1 9 could be here, but a 1 could also be here. We know a 1 is not here, so a 1 kind of needs to be either here or here. With this 1 9 pair, we do know that there is a 1 in this column, and so there has to be a 1 somewhere in this column. Can we take anything else from the 1s? No. Looking at 2s, we've more than likely not made any progress on 2s. Looking at 3s, I think there's a decent chance that the 3 could be here or here also. So I'll just try and make this look a little bit better. Of course, if I just mark that there's a possibility of a 3 here and then don't evaluate it for any of the other numbers, I'm gonna eventually just make the stupid assumption that only 3 could be there. So if I'm gonna do that, I should just look at every possibility here. Could there be a 1 here, then a 4, then a 9? No. Could there be a 1, then a 4, then a 9, then another 1? No. Could there be a 1, then a 4, then a 9? No. I don't think it can be 1s. Could it be a 2 in this section? I'm going to assume yes. It can be a 3 in the top and bottom spots. Can it be a 5? I'm going to assume yes. Can it be a 6? Yes, but not in this spot. Can it be a 7? Yes, but not in that spot. Can it be an 8? Yes. And then the last question would be, could it be a 9? Could this be a 9 and then a 4 and then a 1? No. Could this be a 1, then a 4 and a 9? Yes. So this might be a 9. Could this be a 1 and a 4 and a 9? Yes. Could this be a 9 and then a 4, then a 1? No. So only this middle section seems like it can be a 9, which probably means that is where the 9 is. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, that might be already solved, that the 9 has to be here. And I guess the move to ask here is, what stops this from being a 9? A 9, then a 4, then a 1 couldn't happen here. A 9 can't be here. A 9 can't be here. A 9, then a 4, then a 1. Seems like it could be here. Why did I say they couldn't be? There. A 9, a 4, and a 1 can be here, but then that would be back to a 9. So actually a 9 can't be here. By that logic. 9, 4, 1, 2 could happen though. A 9, then a 4, then a 6 stops that from being a 9. And then a 9 here can't happen. 1 here. 9 here is wrong. 9, 4, 1 doesn't work. 9, 1, 9, 9, 4. Then 6 wouldn't work. 9, 4, 1 does work. 1, 2, 1, 4, 9 does work. So a couple different ways this is a 1, 9. And I'm pretty sure it has to be that. So I'm just going to leave that at a 1, 9. Hope that helps. By doing that, and then I think we just have to figure out if the 4 is here, or if the 4 is here. Is there anything else we could guess at? No? Just basic Sudoku, I think, leaves the rest of this a large mess. Could I put a 6 here? I don't see any reason why I couldn't put a 6 here. I wonder if it's worthwhile to just mark all of these numbers with all the possibilities that are not marked here. Because that's not even really accurate. If this was 3, then I would know what to do. But because there are 4 here, that means any one of these digits could possibly still be part of the other placements. Is it worthwhile to mark everything here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably not. That was probably just a waste of time. Looks like we're almost to the point where we're making some kind of pattern, but I would need a lot more experience to recognize what the pattern is. Or what it even means. Guess we can eliminate that from being 7. Which doesn't, I think, change too much. If this is 6, you could still get to 7. If this was 8, you could still go to 9. If this was 6, you could go to 5. Eight doesn't add up to 5, so I don't know if I should just fill in all the boxes, which seems to be the strategy that I constantly run into after spending 60 minutes doing a puzzle. This series is really going to prove also just how easy it is to lock up or have the slight pauses of any activity add up when you potentially think about where did all the time go. It's in between all the thoughts, in between all the breaths, all the little pauses, all the going quiet, just deep contemplation. Let's see. We still, I don't believe, have any real confirmation. Maybe? Did we somehow figure out that this couldn't be a 5? If we did figure that out, that would help me. Yeah, if we could find a 5 anywhere else in this box, that would be very helpful. We have a whole bunch of possibilities here. We have this locked down, so we don't really need to look at that one. And then we have either a 4 here or a 4 here, which, let's think about that for a second. If it is a case where this is 2, 1, 4, 9. Because I don't think we can have the 4s anywhere here. I don't think we can have the 4 anywhere here. So if the 4 is here, that eliminates that. Then that eliminates that. And that makes this 4. If the 4 is here, then it eliminates these two. Which then makes this. Am I 100% right about, confident about this? No. I need to just fill in the numbers for the rest of this, because it is a possibility that this 4 could be here, and then there could be a 4 here to eliminate that. You don't have a 4 pairing that says the 4 has to be here or here. So let's just fill in these boxes. Are we 100% sure that a 1 and a 9 would both be in this spot? No. So I'm just gonna mark everything. And then we'll get rid of the 6 here, the 3s here, and the 7s here. Then when we go back and look at the 4s, that probably paints a more accurate image of what we know. And let's just do this with the rest of this too. We have no idea what goes in any of these sections, and nothing can be eliminated from that. We have no idea what can go in these sections, with the slight exception that 1-9 does not belong here. Seem to be certain, or fairly certain, that there's a 1 that goes here. I'm not sure why that's the case though. If we were certain that the 1 has to be here, no, we're not quite to that point yet. This is a 1 that eliminates all this from possibly being 1, and it makes this a 1 at that point. If this is a 1, it eliminates that, it makes those a 1. You know, between this group of 6, there's a 1, which is probably to say we know nothing at all. Let's go ahead and eliminate that, and instead we'll just fill in all the numbers. And I don't think we have any cross numbers set to produce that. No. Part of the problem with the sandwich hints is that it will just get you 3 numbers on a column or row, which isn't likely to get you much further towards another box. I think the same situation is still here. Yeah. So all this does is set me up. It's extra work to set myself up to the idea of brute forcing it and going and looking through all the numbers. You can see there's a potential 1 in every box, making it highly unlikely that we could remove a 1 anywhere else. As far as 2s go, we have a few places that still might be a 2. Let's ask that question. if the combination would be 2, 3, but then you did a like 1, 5, 9. Could you get a 2 and a 3 somewhere else? It does seem like you could do that. You could do a 1, 5, 9. Then you could get a 2 here. Same as for 3. So I think it probably is the case that 2, 3 should be added to that. Because we just don't know. And something about the combinations here made me decide that a 2 couldn't be here and a 2 couldn't be here. I'm going to trust that to be accurate. We know 2 can't be here and a 2 can't be here. So we know that somewhere else in the box is a 2, a 4, a 5, and a 6, a 5 and an 8. And somehow we didn't calculate whether a 2 could be here, which I'm just gonna assume that it can. I'm gonna just fill this in with every possible digit and take off the 3. And could there be a 2 here? I think so, yes. Looking at 3s, we can move that from up being a potential 3. And I think we could add this to being a potential 3. And I think we can add this to being potential 3. And then I'm going to just trust that 3 isn't here and hope that that's correct. Looking at the 4s. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can really take from this. There might be some logic here that I'm not grasping, and I guess I'll want to look at that in a second. With the doubling 5s. Is there really a reason why a 5 couldn't be here or here? Five can't be there. Is there a reason why a 5 couldn't be here or here? I guess by this process, what I'm really setting up is the idea that I'm willing to just have to rededuce, relearn something if need be. In favor of accidentally marking something that might not be accurate. Removing options. I'm just adding back bad options to later on remove options. 6 eliminates all of those. That. And 6 and 4 won't work because of the sandwich rule. And remove those 7s. Then obviously there can't be a 7 here, can't be a 7 here. Can't be a 7 here, can't be a 7 here. Could there be a 7 here or a 7 here? I think yes. Could there be a 7 here and a 7 here and a 7 here? I think there's a possibility, certainly. Eights. How is that? Eights. Well, I guess we've determined that these can't be 8. Could this be 8 or this be 8? I think that's a possibility. Could this be 8? And could these be 8? I think pretty obviously too, in this whole setup, I'm trying one strategy and not completely doing the one strategy, and then I'm trying a different strategy and then possibly not completely doing the other strategy. Not sticking to all of the possible possibilities. Why is this not capable of being 8 here? This could be 8 and then this could be 4. What did we do to determine that this couldn't be 8? I don't know. I'm gonna hope that that's right though. No, I don't think it's right. I don't think there's any reason whatsoever that we would have found that this couldn't be 8 and this couldn't have a 4 because of that. Basically everything can be an 8. And then as far as this goes, I guess this can't be a 9 because then this would be 4 and then this would be 1. And this can't be 9 because then this would be, I mean, I guess this could be a 9 and then 7, then 5, then 4. Yeah, no, that can't be a 9 either. This can't be a 9. This can't be a 9. Could these be 9? This can't be a 9 because then this would have to be a 4 and this would have to be a 1. This can't be a 9. 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 Yeah. Okay. So what I want to look at next is this possibility here. Maybe there's a strategy, a concept here that adds up. Could this be 2, then 1, which would eliminate 1 and 2, 3 and 6, and 4 and 8? Yes. Could this be 1 and 2, then 3 and 6, and 4 and 8? Yes. Does this mean this has to be 3 and 6? No. Does this mean this has to be 4 and 8? I don't think so. if there were some dots in between. Not all possible dots, X's and V's are given, which that would be helpful if it was the case. So 78 minutes in, we've put in the extra work, we've marked every possible thing, we've probably made some mistakes along the way, and very possibly we have more mistakes that we've added by marking all of the information in. Let's see. The only numbers we have are basically these. One, 4, 6, 3, 7. And I don't see how experimenting enough with that would lead to the next step. If this was 1, that would eliminate all these and all these. Still give you plenty of opportunity to have a 1 here or here. If this was a 1, it would eliminate all of these and all of these, still giving you plenty of opportunity. Same is kind of true with a 4. If this is a 4, it eliminates all these and all these, giving you plenty of opportunity still. Doesn't look like there's anything we can do with 2. I don't think there's anything we can do with 3. Nothing you can do with 4. Nothing you can do with 5. 6 is also stuck. 7 is stuck. 8 is nowhere. There's no progress on 8 at all. And 9 is similarly situated. If we were to highlight all the ones, possibilities, and all the combinations here, it's quite a lot. If we were to highlight all the 9 possibilities, we could, I guess, remove that 9. This could be 9, 5, 1 here. We could eliminate these ones. Then if 1 can't balance out with 4, we can eliminate that 4. So this could be 1 here, and then 4 here, and then 2, 3, 9 here, or 1 here, 4 here, 5 here, 9 here. Either way, that puts a 9 in this box, in this column. Maybe that tells me something. You kind of know a 9 is going to be in this column. It probably does eliminate 9s anywhere else. Let's question something else here. Oh, I think there probably is enough information. I just had to look at both possible combinations to do it. If this isn't 1, 4, the only way you get to 5 is 2, 3 or 3, 2. if that's the case, then this would have to be a 9. Is there a reason why this isn't possibly a 9 or a 1? If this was a 1, and then it was 2, 3, and 9, does that change anything? If this was 9, then it was 3, 2, and 1, does that change anything? So looks like that can be a 1 or 9 too. Also, oh, that feels like feels like I was so close to saying, well, a 1-9 can't be here and a 1-9 can't be here. But that's only true if this is 1-9, 5, 1-9. Is it possible that this would be 1-9, 2, 3, 1-9? Yes. Is it possible that this would be 9? This would be 8, 9, 5, 1, 9, or 8, 8, 9, 2, 3, 1, 9. Well, let me ask that question, because I think I'm right. I think I'm right there on the logic. I don't think you can make a 2, 3, because then that would get rid of this 2, 3 and leave this having to be a 4 and a 1. It can't be a 1 and a 4. Right. So if you were to go 4, 1, then 2, 3, then 1, 9 would be here. You can do that. Four, 1, 2, 3, 9 is possible. 4, 1, 5, 9 is possible. It says we can't be a 1, 9, and then a 5, and then a 1, 9, because that would get rid of the 1 here, and then have a 2, 3, which doesn't matter at that point. No, I honestly don't think there is a solution yet. It seems like there might be if we can get one more bit of information. Is there any more logic on this side? Well, you know, a 4 and a 1 is in this box, which either is going to mean that there's a 9 in this column, or there is a 9 down in this column. There's a 9 down here in this column, or here, and there can't be a 9 here. There can't be a 9 here. Am I correct about that? either goes this way and puts a 9 this direction and eliminates this 9, or it goes this direction and puts a 9 in this direction and eliminates this 9. Well, it can't be a case that neither one of these have 9 in them. I think that means a 9 has to be here, which I think that's probably the case. I don't want to mark that. I'm not comfortable now even guessing. And I honestly don't even want to try and wrap my brain around the combinations. We don't have to do that one. And then this one is so simplistic that I don't know if it really is saying anything. Let's look at the 4s here. Is there any possibility that we could get a 4 that is not in this box? This could be 2, 1, 4, 9. Yes. This could be 1 or 9, 4, and 1 or 9. Yes. This could be 1 or 9, 4, or 1 or 9. Yes. But we can't have a 1 or 9, 4, 1 or 9 here for some reason. I've marked that to be the case. Let's see why that's the case. These two have to add up to 10. So 1 or 9, it would be 1 or 9. And that stops either one of those from being 1 and 9. So let's go ahead and remove those options. That means the 4 can't be here. So remove that from the options. That means the 8 can't be here. I'm ready for a smart hint. Let's see if we can get a hint. Could not generate a hint. Please check the handwritten hints for help. Why does it do that so often? That is annoying. I also kind of would like the bars. Well, I'd like the bars to just draw a box around the entire column instead of going straight through it. Either that or make them dotted, or make them in the background, or make them much thinner. I imagine if we think about accessibility for a second, this game still probably would be fairly colorblind proof. The red and blacks for some people may look the same and you would just not use that feature. So it would be helpful if perhaps you could just double click or hold or something and bring up a color picker, right click on the color to pick a different color instead of red. I don't think looking at the rules is going to help me, so let's just read the first rule. Locations for low digits 1, 2, 3, and 4 in box 9 are known, and the 4th is on the X. And can't be 4, 1 because of the sandwich clue. Wow, this first hint has already thrown me for a loop. Locations for 3 low digits 1, 2, 3, and 4 are known. Why is that the case? And it can't be 4-1 because of the sandwich clue. This can't be 4-1. This can't be 1-9. I mean, how did we get that to this? What is the overlap here? Looking at ones, to me, it seems like the one could be here, here. Seems like at some point we deduced the one could not be here. I'm not 100% sure why, but it probably had something to do with 9s not being able to be here. So looking at the ones, the one could be here, here. Can't be here, can't be here, can't be here. We got that far. Although also we've marked that says ones can't be in any of these. That seems probably wrong. One could be here. One could be here, one could be here. Looking at the 2s. 2 could be here. 2 and 8 could be here. 2 could be in any of these. And looking at the 3s, seems like it's the same situation. And then four gives us a similar situation. Okay, we know a 4 is not here. So let's lock in on the idea of how could we know that where the 4 is. That seems like that would be the thing with the highest chance of success. Well, if we had a 4-1 here, that obviously would eliminate all the 4s here and eliminate the 4s here and make that a 4. If we had a 1-4 here, that would obviously eliminate that and all of that. And this would be a 2-3, and then this would be a 7-8, and the rest would probably just fall in place. The locations for 3 low digits, 1, 2, and 3 in box 9, we're looking at box 9, are known. How? How in the world do they know? What is it about the rules that I'm not grasping as far as partial dominoes? An X between 2 cells indicates the sum that they sum to 10. Okay. These two have to sum to 10. So it's either 2-8 or 3-7. Okay. If it was 2-8, then 2-3 would be eliminated as possible, and this would be 1-4, and then 2 would be here, and 3 would be here, and this would be 4. Okay. If this was, this was 2-8, then this would be 1, 4. This would be 3, 2. This is 3, 7. And that gets rid of the 3's here. And makes that 1, 4. This is 2, 8. Gets rid of the 2 3's. And that makes that 1, 4. Is everything making this 1, 4? 3, 7. Gets rid of the 3's. 1, 4. 2, 8. Gets rid of the 2's. 1, 4. Ah, yes, it is. Every possible combination here, other than 1, 9, would eliminate something, and it can't be 1, 9. So there's only 3 combinations, I guess. Well, there's also 4 and 6, and 4 and 6 is not possible because of the sandwich clue. Okay, so we don't know if this is 2, 8 or 3, 7 here. Regardless, 2, 8 removes the 2's from this, and 3, 7 would remove the 3's from this, making this only 1, 4. That then means this is not 4, and either 2, 8 or 3, 7 would remove the other option. We can go ahead and remove the 1, 4's as possibilities on those. If that's a 1, 4 pair, we can get rid of 1's and 4's. And then if we get rid of 1's and 4's up here, that means 2 can't double into 4. So this is either 3, 6, and it can't be 8 because we can't get 4. So now we have a 3, 6 pair. Look at that. We'll probably waste some time here and highlight some pairs. Okay. Now, I guess the next thing to do would be to take out the 3's and 6's as possible combinations. 1, 4 now is in that spot, in that spot, and that spot. You can go ahead and eliminate the 3's and 6's. In that case, 3's, 6's, 1's, and 4's. Does this mean this has to be 4 now? Or is there some possibility that this would be a 4 up here? Let's ask that question. We don't have 4's marked in these spots. The way the hint was written definitely gave the implication we would just be staying in this box and that we should be able to fully lock down what the numbers are, that there should be 3 digits that are known: 1, 2, 3, and 4. 7 and 8 might be wrong to be here. Oh, well, instead of trying to figure out their hints, let's just mark out things we know can't be right anymore. This 1 could double to a 2, this 2 could half to a 1, this 4 can half to a 2 or double to an 8, but now that we can't get to 6, this 3, nope, that 3 is not viable. And at that point, I think we have our solution now because of this. We cannot have a sandwich which is 1, 2, and then 4, then 9. It would need to be 2, 1, 4, 9. So, fingers crossed this is right. 2, 1, 4, 9. Alright, we are in good shape now. We can get rid of this column. Then, now that we've gotten rid of the 2, we can only have 3 and 7 in this panel, this pair, which means I can go ahead and just remove 3s from all those options, which then makes that a 2, which makes that a 3. Guess that eliminates that down to being 4. That makes that 8. And can we make more progress now? This 8 changes this to being a 1, which makes that to be a 4, which then we can address the sandwich here, and that it can't be a 3. So this has got to be 9. Nope, I was wrong about that. It isn't that. It's the 1 and the 4, and then it's got to be something else, doesn't it? I eliminated a possibility. The sandwich here, this one says it's right, and then that makes that 4. That makes this have to be 5, 4, or 3. I mean 5 or 3, yeah. But then 3 is eliminated here, so it can only be 5. So then this has to be 4, 5, and then 4, 5 is only this 3, or yeah, it's not a case where 5 and 7 and 4 and 8 needed to be added together to get to 12. That wouldn't make any sense. So this one was mislabeled, and that needed to be 3. And then this one was mislabeled, and that one needed to be 9. So no wonder I've struggled with that. It's been totally messed up. And I'm hoping we're now back on track, that we would now have a 2-6 pair and a 7-8 pair. Which I guess we can take out the 7s and 8s from that and the 8s from that. And I guess that means this is a 9 unless we're wrong. Okay. And then that lets me look at the combinations here, which we don't even have to look at these combinations for the sandwich thing. We already had figured that out. We just need to mark that with a 1. Then that gets that down to a 7. Sorry, my stomach's growling. That gets that up to a 3. That forces that to a 6. And then you have a 5-8 pair, which I'm overly labeling in that spot. Which is probably just way too late into solving the puzzle to be marking these pairs. Here we have a 2. Because I suspect everything is going to just start falling into place very often. And just basic Sudoku may solve the rest of this. But also I wouldn't be surprised if I hit 3 to 5 more speed bumps and either need to think about it or need to have a hint given to me. We've made basically no progress in these 3 boxes yet. There's definitely something to be said about how much criticism you can also make in covering a puzzle game, Sudoku game that's going to go this incredibly long. I do feel like I'm going quiet a little more often, and there's less that can actually be said overall. Have we made any progress as far as the possibilities here? Probably. Look, we at some point eliminated this down to having to be a 3 because this can't be a 1 because of this. So you can mark that as a 3, and so then it's either 9 or 1, 3, 2, 9 or 1, or 9 or 1, 9 I guess here since there's a 1 here, 5, and then a 1 here, which that doesn't get me everywhere I want to be, but it's a step closer. The 3 here makes that be a 6, which makes that be a 3. which then basic Sudoku says if this is a 3, and this is a 3, and this is a 3, and this is a 3, then that has to be a 3. We can go ahead and remove that highlight now of that pair. We know that a 3 has to be here between these two. I don't know if we know anything more. I don't think we can still guarantee a solve on that sandwich clue. It does feel like there should be another number though. Well, if there's a 1-4 here, and the possibilities in this are 1, 5, 7, I might have been able to solve this way earlier. And this 5, 7 pair then eliminates that, and that puts an 8 here, and it puts an 8 here, and puts an 8 there. Then that leaves only a 5 there, and that's a 7, 9. Which makes this a 5, 6 pair, which makes this a 9. Has that opened up any other possibilities? Well, yes, this pair now is a 7. Nope, it says I'm wrong. What were the possibilities here? We got this. It is 1, 4, 5, 3, 9, leaving the remaining possibilities to be 2, which 2 can't be here, and then let's see, 6, which I guess a 6 might be able to be there. Again, I mislabeled something, I guess. And then 7 can't be 8 and can't be 9. And if we already said it was 6, it does mean that this is not a pair. So another mistake. But then I wonder if these are mistakes too, because if 2, 6 is eliminated, then that should be 7, and then you're just back to the same spot. So yep. That too is a mistake. This entire column was just riddled with mistakes. Let's just do this individually. So then the options would have been here 2, and then 6, and then 7 and 8. Yeah, I think those are all the options. And then the options here are 2, then 6, then 7. Can't be an 8 because of that. We have a 7, 9 pair here, a 5, 6 pair here. Let's go ahead and unhighlight that pair. back to highlighting pairs that might be helpful. Although I question how helpful it really is. We can, I imagine, just select all of these now and just go, if there's a 5 here, then there can't be a 5 here, so then it would be 5, 6, and then 1, 4. Nope, I don't think that actually means anything. It would have to be that there would be like a 1, 4 pair here and a 1, 4 pair here for that to mean something. Just look at basic Sudoku. We're closer, certainly. If this was 3, then this would be 2. Would there be any problem with that being a 2? No. Not yet, at least. If this was 4, it could be 5. No problem with that either, but it can't be 3 because of this. So that might play a role later. 5 and 5 and 5. One of these has to be a 5 because this can't be a 5, which means this can't be a 5, which means that has to be a 5. Alright. Yeah, another step into the right direction that seemingly ends right at a dead wall. They almost certainly have to be handcrafting these Sudoku puzzles so that they don't lead into long logical threads that are obvious. Sometimes you get that, and you have to have that to actually solve them to some level, but that they're trying, I think, their very best to space out points where you have to take a break, take a breath, think about what the next solution needs to be. Whereas a very easy Sudoku puzzle would be, you would eliminate all the 8s on one row, and then there would be an obvious 8 here, and then it would eliminate all the 8s on that row, and it'd put an obvious 8 here, and just you would potentially pinwheel your way into the entire puzzle and solve all of the 8s in one fell swoop, and then you would just move on to the 7s or the 9s and move on to a different number of some sort. Nine here, 9 or 9 here. 9 here could be an 8. There's no real problem with that. If we found out that the 9 couldn't be here, that would be helpful. 9, 2, 3, 1 is no longer viable. We did get to that point. So that means 2, 3 is probably not the combination. Yeah, it isn't. So it's got to be either 1, 9 here, and then 5 here, and then 1, 9, or 1, 9 here, which it can't be, so we'll skip that. 1, 9 here, and then 5, and then 1, 9, and my information says this can't be 1, 9. We determined that very early. I could be wrong about that. And the solution here would be to test it further. and just put in the answer. You kind of cheat. Let's see. A 1 could be here. And then a 5 could be here. And then a 9 can't be here because of this 9. Alright. So, that's not a possibility. And a 1 can't be here. With a 9 here. And a 5 here. For what reason? Why can I not have a 1 in this space? I don't know. If I don't know, I've got to add it back. Seems to me like that is doable. You can see a very obvious reason why 1 can't be here. We also know that the answer has to be 5, so we can take the 5 out of where it can't be. And that might help well enough. Let's just look at the 5s now. It's either a 5 or a 5 here, which eliminates that 5, which then makes that have to be a 5 here. Which then makes that a 7 there. And we will just work our way around, I think. Yeah, I don't think that's going to help me any further. I think we can get rid of that just for visual reasons. It does feel like a lot of these puzzles also just become more restrictive in the possibilities as you get towards the end. And that it isn't quite exactly the same experience like solving a jigsaw puzzle, where if you have only 3 or 4 pieces left to solve a jigsaw puzzle, then it is very easy to find where those 3 or 4 pieces go. I think just the way Sudoku puzzles play out, particularly with variants, there's a lot of opportunity for obfuscation right up until that last step, that last stage of steps. Something somewhere here has to be filled in. Okay, 1 can't be here because this white dot would then make this 2. So it can't be 9, 9 can't be 1. This can't be 9, can't be 1. This can be 1, and this can be 9. This can be 5. This can't be 1. So 9, 5, 1. We kind of knew that was the case, but I wanted to go the full path of deducing it. Didn't want to just jump the gun and guess. Yeah. Arguably though, if I did start guessing in the puzzles, I probably would take less time. But I might not. It might just be a crutch that I would lean on that would make the whole process even longer, as I would just increase the number of mistakes. How vital is it in Sudoku puzzles in particular to not make mistakes? normally speaking, it's as vital as you can possibly imagine to not make mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the more it's going to just take to correct those mistakes. In almost every case, unless you just are doing something that is really, really simple or nobody really cares about. This looks weird. If there was a 6 here, then there could be a 6 here. We have just like 3 pairs telling me everything. And I think that's the step. That's the next step. Were we going downward from 6? I think we were. Yeah. The next step has got to be this. This and this are supposed to add up to 10. So there's no way, since we can't have a 4 here, there's no way that this is 7. Because there's a 3 here, so this has to be 3 here, and then this has to be 7 here, so then that makes that 6, which I guess that makes this 7 because of that 3 there. And did that stop all the progress? We have a 1-9 pair that still can add up, and we have a 4-6 pair that can add up, but we don't seem like we can have a 2 anymore. So this needs to lose the 8s. This 4 can't go to a 5 here anymore. So neither one of these are 4. 7 can't be here. 6 can go to 7. 8 can go to 7. 7 can't go to 8. So that can't be 8. That's not what I meant to do. That can't be 8. That almost certainly makes a 6-8 pair here in that. Which, yeah, I think at the very least this tells me where the 4 is. 4 can't be here. For what reason? Why did we determine a 4 could not be here? Well, if I can't figure out a reason why a 4 can't be here, I've got to add it back. Let's see, we have a 1, 2, 3, but do we have anything now that would point to 6? 6 can't go to 5, and 6 can't go to 7. So 6s are out. 9 seems like it could go to 8. 8 could go to 9. 4 can go to 3, but there's not a 3 here, and not a 5 here. So this one can't have 4. 1 could go to 2, 2 can go to 1, 2 can go to 3, 3 can go to 2 or 4. That's slowly lowering the possibilities. More than likely, several other possibilities are already eliminated. in this section. But I don't know which ones they would be. It's not jumping out to me. And annoyingly, these pairs are just going to hover around for a while. Yeah. There's just a whole bunch of pairs. Before we just try to brute force this with Sudoku rolls again. That has been solved. So that doesn't tell me anything more. This has been solved. That doesn't tell me anything more. This has been solved. And this has been solved. So I think the sandwich hints are done. I don't think there's anything more. And then all the black dots pairs have been solved. All the X's and V's, except for this one, have been solved. The white dots pairs have not been solved. This 4 and 8. This 8 can't go to a 7 because 7's already here, and this 8 can't go to a 9, which means that is no longer an 8. And if we have done everything correctly, that is a 4. Then that means, since there's a 3 here, that is a 5. Okay. And that makes this an 8. Do we have another step? If we put an 8 here and a 7 here, then there can't be an 8 here, and then there would have to be an 8 here. If we put an 8 here, then 6 and 7 could happen here. No real problem, seemingly, from that. We have a 2 and 6 pair, which I guess we'll just keep on highlighting pairs. Since they are sticking around. I guess I was totally wrong when I said that it was probably too late to be marking pairs. It's probably a case where you should just embrace the mentality that it's never too late to mark a pair. Maybe it would be nice if there was a bit more of an animation here, or if it was more of a mouse drag thing, where you could click a box in the corner and drag a link over to that, or you could just highlight with the multi-select and then click a lock button to pair them up, or like a chain icon to pair them up. Ever so slowly. Okay. 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here means this has to be a 3. Found it. Then that means this is not a 4. Well, no, it could still be a 4. It's not a 1. Okay. So then we look at the 1s and we now know there must be a 1 here, which then eliminates a 1 from that possibility. Means there must be a 1 here, which we can write that, I guess. And I guess we've solved all of the 3s now. The next question would just be, what else can we do? It's all seemingly very tightly knit. Come on, come on. There's gotta be something. Some logic that can be taken from this. Is there possibly something about this where if this was 6, well, wait a minute. Are we at a point where this can't be 6? Yeah, because it can't be 7. So then this has to be 7. Alright. So I did find a solution, but it wasn't on the same thought path I was going with. I was thinking that this would be a 6, which would make this a 7, which would match these two up, and then eliminate the 6 here and boil it down more. But we've got a 4-6 pair here. Yeah. An 8 can't be here because of this, and an 8 can't be here because of that, so that has to be an 8. So then that gets me to where I want to be. Makes another pair. And this also is yet another pair. And it feels like at this level we should have simple Sudoku solutions coming up. And it definitely feels like for each pair we see, there is a part of a long running thread that will unravel at the very last second. I may just have to look at every column, row, and box, however. Because as far as the variations go, there's only this spot here and this spot here left. Everything else, as far as I can see, is locked in. Okay, 8 is the only option here. Okay. And then 9 is the only option here. Then it makes this. I guess I'm gonna trust it and say that's an 8, and then I'm gonna trust that and say that's a 6, and trust that as a 7. That's going to lock down that 4, which then will lock down this 6, which then locks down this 4, which then locks down this 6, which also locks down this 5, which locks down that 6, which also then locks down this 9 and this 7, and at some point there it also unlocked this 2 and this 6, and that was basically every pair I highlighted. in different colors. And then it just continues. There's a 2 here. There's a 1 here. There's a 2 here. There's a 4 here. A 4 here. A 1 here. There's a 2 way up here. There's a 5 here. A 1 here. A 4 here. A 8. A 9. That's all the 9's done. A 1. That's all the 1's done. And I believe all we have left are this 5 and 7. But before we do that, let's remove all the highlighting. All those pairs designed so they could not be solved until basically the last step, maybe the last 5th or 6th steps, definitely the last stage. So it definitely feels like the pairs are a little bit deadly when solving puzzles. And that if you see a pair, you should mark it and pay attention. Obviously, what is also very deadly is just putting in the wrong information. Just screwing up. That held me back, I would imagine, for at least a good 20 minutes, just by having to unravel my own mistakes. Let's look at what the other hints would have been. We did have to take this first hint, although in fairness, this first hint, probably because of there being wrong information, did not help me much at all. I had to really struggle to even make any progress reading this hint. The next hint would have been that row 8 and 9, column 9, must be a 4-1, and we did figure that out, I think, pretty quickly. And then row 1 and 2, column 9, must then be a 3-6, which I think we figured that out at the same time. Then row 6 and 7 in column 7, row 6 and 7 of column 7, yeah, here, must be a 3-2. We eventually figured that out. And then row 3 and 4 of column 7 must be a 4-8. So almost, it's basically, I think, with each hint telling you one large group of steps that have been bundled together. So the more hints we see in these puzzles, the more times we knew we should guesstimate that the puzzle had been designed to make you hit a roadblock and try a different strategy or look at different numbers. That it wouldn't be a smooth sailing experience. Which I guess that's probably somewhat true for all hints, is that you would make hints where there would be difficulty. You wouldn't make hints where it would be very easy. Moving on, row 2 and 3, column 8, must have a 2. So row 7 and 8, column 8 is 3-7. Took us a very long time to get to that point. In row 2 and 3 of column 8, 4 would not work with the sandwich clue, so 1 must be at row 3, column 8. And it took me a very long time to get to that point. Now, row 2 and 3, column 2 can be determined, and the black dot in column 6 cannot contain a 1-2 because of the V in box 5. The black dot in column 6, which is here, these two, cannot contain a 1-2, which is true how we solved it. but we can't. That is because of the V in box 5. This box. This is box 5. This isn't box 5. Ah, yeah. This can't be 1, 2 because then it would, I guess, interact with that. I didn't catch that. It can't be 4, 8 either because of row 4, column 7 and 8, which already have a 4, 8, making this not be 4, 8. And it can't be 2, 4 either because row 6, column 6 and 7 would clash. If this was a 2, it would have to be an 8, and then that would clash in some way. I'm not sure exactly how. Let's see. 4, 2, 8. How does that clash with a 3? I don't know. 2, 4, 6. How would a 6 clash with column 6? I guess if it was 2, 4, 6 here, 4 and 6 adding up to 10, it clashes with this spot. If it was 4, 2, 8, it kind of doesn't clash with this spot. There must have been a reason why it couldn't have been 2, 4, 8 by the time you got this hint. And then it would have had to have been 4, 2, 8. But 4, 2, 8 still doesn't clash with this. So I don't fully grasp that hint. Most of box 5 can now be completed, and row 4, column 2. Am I misreading this? Row 4, column 2. Here it is. Must be a 9 given the clues in column 2. Okay. Took us a very long time to get to that point. Then our final hint would have been in column 4 and column 6. These sandwiches can now be determined, which I feel like I spent a lot of energy trying to determine these sandwiches way earlier than that, and may have even mostly succeeded in determining these sandwiches earlier. Maybe that's part of my struggle in this puzzle particularly, is that I may have accidentally put in the wrong answer and then been told by the game engine that since that was the wrong answer, I may have subconsciously already known the right answer and then entered it without following the full logical process. So there might have been missing information that should have been filled in before I filled in that answer. I can't know for certain if that's the case, but it might explain some things. Let's see. 4, 6 cannot be in the pair on row 1, column 1 and 2 here on column 1, as a 3, 9 would form a pair. In row 8, column 1. I'm not sure if I follow the logic on how you determine pairs like that. They're saying that this column, this couldn't be 4 and 6 to add up to 10, because then if that was 4 and 6, that would leave only 3 and 9 I guess, at that point to be here. And then that wouldn't have worked with the white dot. Yeah, I think that's what they're basically saying, is just some almost basic Sudoku as a hint, just in case you missed it. Alright, well, let's put in the last number. That was our first, I believe, 6-star puzzle, and it took 153 minutes. And on that, I wouldn't say it feels like there was much of a difference between a 6-star puzzle and a 5-star puzzle. And if anything, I think the 5-star puzzle number 8 was significantly enough to at least notice more difficult than puzzle 9 was. Not that any of these puzzles are getting breezed through. I still might make an argument that Antlers was probably the most difficult, although the one that took the most amount of time was Night Sudoku, or this full Kropke Sudoku. I feel like, honestly, if I went back and tried this again, I could probably cut this time in half, but I wouldn't know if that meant that I just memorized the answer and subconsciously put it in, or if it would just mean that I got better at the answer. 11 C's here as a puzzle was also a fairly unique one compared to everything all the other puzzles we've seen so far. We still have a decent number of puzzles to go, and that is just for the free packs 500,000 subscriber celebration. And then, yeah, there's 7 variety packs here we'll also do. And then I'll definitely take a break. At some point, I'll probably want to get this DLC, but I also want to get, I think, one of their earlier games and focus down. Probably don't want to just get classic Sudoku and just play that. I probably would want to get a variety Sudoku. Even that wouldn't be very varied. So, yeah, I don't know how I really would want to cover it. I kind of would want to get all 6 of their games from Studio Goya, from Cracking the Cryptic, and then bounce between them, which would make a weird puzzle series, to say the least. But it also would almost have to be an ongoing series where I would just always be playing Sudoku puzzles for years on end. And I would definitely need to see if my audience even cared enough to go to that level. Otherwise, I could certainly be doing a lot better with my time playing other games. This is way too much of a commitment without any real guarantee of any reward for the amount of commitment here. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I end up just buying something like a Steam Deck and playing Sudoku on the Steam Deck during downtime when my computer is doing something else, processing videos and things like that, uploading videos. Next time we will do Twisting Arrows, which looks like we've got some potential more variants to look at with Arrow Sudoku. We haven't done that before. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.